everyone. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Livermore. This is going to be fun today. We got some fun stuff going on today, so you're all going to be very happy that you joined us today. So, Jay Davis, would you be willing to lead us in the pledge today? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So just a reminder, I know we've been doing this, our Zoom thing, for almost 2 years now, but just a quick Zoom etiquette reminder. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself. If you are speaking, please unmute yourself. Those of you here at the Robert Livermore Community Center, thank you for joining us in person today. Again, we're trying to follow Alameda County health guidelines, which change all the time, but we're trying to keep an eye on those. Current guidelines, I think, take your mask off while you're eating. When you're done, please put it back on. So thank you all for that. Songsters.
We live in person?
So TJ wanted to know if there's any vaccination requirements. We are not checking vaccinated cards, but we would encourage everyone to consult their doctors and to determine what is the best course of action for them as far as their vaccination status. That's my job. Okay, songsters. Hello.
I think we have live musicians today, and I wasn't able to make it today, so I did participate in the selection of the song because I wanted an Italian song, and it has to do with Open Heart Kitchen. So I think that's what we're going to hear, is something about food and my heritage. So take it away, boys.
All right.
On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese, I lost my pork meatball when somebody sneezed. It rolled off the table and onto the floor, and then my pork meatball rolled right out the door. It rolled up the sidewalk, then into the street, and now my pork meatball is too dirty to
Brilliant. That's awesome. So Sheila has a thought to share with us today. Sheila, what do you got for us?
Oh, here we go. All right. Thank you, President Ken. Little impromptu thought. Our Rotary Club, we all are part of a group that it's service above self. And during these really trying times, my Rotary Club reminds me how important it is to stay in touch with people. A lot of people are at times not able to go out, and the simple act of making a phone call to say hi, or we get together on Zoom, and I love being part of that early bunch that starts around 11:30 and we chit chat for a while. And I know it does my heart well. And I think for many of us, it's an opportunity to connect. So my thought is, there's somebody that's in your life that you haven't talked to in a while. And I know it's difficult to go out and see them, but pick up that phone and say hi, because I think that's part of our mantra with service above self. You all have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Sheila. Good stuff. So our front line, all the folks that make these meetings possible, Carolyn Siegfried, our Zoom host today, Pat Coyle, Spur reporter, Dennis O'Brien holding down audio visual, David Rounds, our Zoom chat monitor, and Kathy Coyle, our Spur publisher. Thank you all for your service to our club. We really appreciate it. So at this time, guests, I know we've got a few guests here today. Peter, would you be willing to introduce your guests? Oh, there's a microphone. Yeah, with these masks,
Thank
it's
you.
hard to hear.
First, I will introduce my sweet wife, Jackie Poulsen.
Hey, Jackie.
You will hear from her in a minute.
Yeah.
And John Boast, who is the head of the Livermore Homeless Refuge. You will also be hearing from him.
John, welcome. Welcome. And I'm sorry, I forgot. Do we have any visiting Rotarians out there on Zoom today?
I
No?
do not see any visiting Rotarians on Zoom. We do have some other visitors that are, I'm assuming, all related to our outstanding students. So would you like to have Hank do those introductions later, President Ken?
I think, what do we normally introduce the parents and we'll get the students during the presentation. Does that sound right? Let's do that.
Okay.
Do we have a student of the month parents joining us today?
All right, so if you are here as a parent with one of the 3 students being recognized today, if you would please take yourself off mute and introduce yourself.
We don't have parents today, but we do have the 3 students.
Okay, great. And that was the principal of Livermore High School, Helen Gladden, who we will hear from more later. So welcome, Helen, and welcome to the 3 students.
All right. Welcome. So today we have kind of people doing good in Livermore theme going on. So I'm really excited about this today. I'd like to start it off. Hank, Shay, are you out there? You want to tee us up for our students of the month?
Yes. I would like to introduce Helen Gladden, the principal of Livermore High School. And then she will introduce each of the 3 students. Okay.
Great.
Hello, I'm Helen Gladden, proud principal of Livermore High School, home of the Cowboys. Go Cowboys. We are all together in one room today, but on different screens because we realized the last time it was hard to see the students. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about each student, and then they're going to say a little to the Rotary Club. So in alphabetical order, we'll start with Emma Banis. So Emma is a multifaceted student and an incredible artist. She maintains a 4.12 GPA and has taken a range of advanced placement classes, including AP Drawing, AP Studio Art, and AP US History. Emma is very involved in extracurricular activities. She is president of our debate club, vice president of our art club, and has supported 10 of our LHS theater productions by working behind the scenes on sets, sound, and lighting. She has taken lessons in piano, vocal, and guitar, and she was a springtime tumbling and trampoline competitive team member from 2014 to 2019, during which time she competed in local and state meets and USA gymnastics. Emma also spent the summer of 2019 teaching at a STEM elementary summer school where she taught children grades K through 5 science and STEM-based lesson plans and activities such as coding. She is currently a springtime tumbling and trampoline coach, teaching children ages 1 through 14 gymnastics and tumbling skills on trampoline and floor. Emma is a strong believer in community service. She designs and paints rabbit hideaways for East Bay Rabbit Rescue. And how many people can say that? And volunteers for a variety of community service opportunities through the National Honors Society. Emma plans on attending Las Positas College for 2 years and then transferring to an art school where she will pursue a career in art. She also plans on obtaining a teaching credential so she can start a small art school to teach people of all ages. Please join me in congratulating Emma.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, so I'm really flattered at this opportunity and this award. I was very surprised kind of surprise. And honestly, I'm honored. So thank you for thinking of me.
All right, Emma is a wonderful young lady and we know she's going to do great things. Our next student is Nalini D'Souza. Nalini is well known on our campus as a multi-talented student. She's a singer and actress who has been in 10 of our theater productions, including State Fair, Godspell, and the complete works of William Shakespeare, abridged, of course. She is currently the president of both the Drama Club and our Link Crew. The Link Crew links incoming freshmen to our campus. She's also vice president of the Poetry Club, as well as the Sexuality and Gender Awareness Club, secretary of the Speech and Debate Team, and treasurer for the entire senior class. Her interests, however, do not stop there. She served as a culture keeper in our new Wellness Center, during which time she developed a 5-series podcast called Self-Care Studios to educate her peers about mental health. The episodes focus on mental health training to help students help themselves and others in dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression. She enjoyed planning this project and seeing it through to fruition. It is no surprise then that Nalini has won numerous awards, including an award from the Speech and Debate Team for being the most inspirational debater of the season. Then she got the In Recognition of Excellence in Creative Writing Award and first place in the statewide CETA Digital Productions category for a short production called Hands Off about sexual harassment. Nalini is also a big believer in community service. She volunteers at the East Bay SPCA locations in Dublin and Oakland as a feline companion. She spent time outdoors helping at Asbury Methodist Church's rich and expansive vegetable garden. And she volunteers for a variety of community service opportunities through the National Honors Society. On top of all of this, Nalini maintains a 4.36 GPA and has taken many honors and AP courses, including AP Language and Composition, AP Statistics, and AP Macroeconomics. She plans on going to a 4-year university in a large city to network with other artists, learn more about her passions, and decide on a specific career path. With her many talents, we know she'll be successful in any career path she chooses. Please join me in congratulating Nalini.
Hello. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Rotary Club, for this extreme honor. I wasn't expecting it either. I'm very pleasantly surprised, and I feel so flattered that people have seen everything that I've been trying to do. I've been trying to make Livermore High School a better place. I think it's just been such a wonderful 4 years. I can't believe I'm a senior and I'll be moving on to college soon. It's kind of an emotional experience because LHS has really become like my second home, and I've tried to become as attached as possible in as many different clubs and things as I can and improve the life of students here. So thank you.
Okay, and our next student is Milan Gurwal. Milan, I got to tell you about this young man. He maintains a 4.3 GPA and is currently a National Merit Semi-Finalist with his application for finalist pending. Milan has taken a variety of AP courses, including World History, US History, Physics, Calculus, Environmental Science, and Macroeconomics. His favorite AP courses were calculus and physics. I'm sure a lot of you lab people out there can relate to that. Milan's interests are many and include developing video games. He loves spending time developing video games because it incorporates coding, art, 3D modeling, and so many other topics he is interested in. Besides video game development, he enjoys researching and discussing politics, experimenting with electronics, playing football, basketball, and soccer, and going camping, hiking, and backpacking. Milan played football for our school from 9th through 11th grade. He's a JV robotics team member on both the mechanical and electrical teams. And he's held various offices in our Next Generation Nations Club, which has raised $6,000 for COVID relief in India. His current service involvement also includes the 3 years he served as a Boy Scouts patrol leader and 1 year as a senior patrol leader, which is leader of the entire troop. His Eagle Scout project is making 6 benches for the fire pit at Asbury Methodist Church. Millen participates in an annual Yosemite service project assigned by the Rangers. He volunteers weekly at the Gurdwara Dining Hall and is active in the Philmont Scout Ranch Trail Conservation. Millen plans on attending a 4-year university and majoring in computer science, computational media, or electrical engineering. Please join me in congratulating Millen.
Thank you so much for choosing me. I did finish that project, the Eagle project we were talking about, and I'm currently an Eagle Scout, so that's great. I want to thank you so much for choosing me. Just like everyone else, it was a pleasant surprise. I saw my email and I was like, I have no clue what this is, but this is great. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
All right. So Principal Gladden, thank you so much for sharing with us these 3 very impressive young people. It does our hearts good to see the next generation, future generations doing all this good stuff. Hank, do we have something for these kids, young adults?
Yes, each of them received yesterday. We delivered to Livermore High 3 packages, 1 for each, and that includes a plaque, okay, honoring their accomplishments this year, and as well, merchants from the town have contributed coupons that they'll be able to use to get nasharai food.
All right. Well, again, Principal Gladden, thank you. Emma, Nalini, and Milan, thank you. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. So next, I want to do something we don't always do. I want to take some time to acknowledge someone else in our community that is doing good and shares, I think, our values of service above self. And to help me kick this off, Jackie, would you be willing to come up and tee this up for us?
Sorry. Hi, I'm Jackie Polson, for those who don't know me. It's my great pleasure to introduce to you a woman most of you have likely never heard of, but who has arguably done more to help our unsheltered neighbors in Livermore than anyone else. Donna McKenzie does not like to be in the limelight, so you won't meet her in person today. She'd much rather be in the trenches, bringing tents, tarps, sleeping bags, blankets, clothes, shoes, food, you name it, to our neighbors in need. In most cases, they are homeless, but she also helps people who are in temporary housing, such as a family of 5 who are living in a single motel room. She knows the individuals. In many cases, she knows their stories and she keeps track of their needs. She even knows their sizes, so if someone needs a new pair of jeans, she'll be sure to get them the right size. She receives, sorts, stores, and distributes donations from many individuals, churches, even truckers who find themselves with a truckload of food they need to find a home for. Seriously, just last week, she got a call from a trucker who had 48 cases of bacon that didn't have a home. Donna came to the rescue, found a way to store it so it could be distributed to those in need. Donna works 7 days a week, countless hours every day. To quote Donna, "It's not my job to judge, only to help, serve, and to care. I've known so many homeless, most of which I call friend. I have heard and witnessed their stories. These are real people, they're human beings that God calls us daily to serve. They cannot and should not be defined by being homeless."
Living on the street has many of them losing their identity. Donna is affiliated with Livermore Homeless Refuge, and Pastor John Boast is the president of the board. Pastor John is with Holy Cross Lutheran Church here in town and is here today to tell you something more about Donna and the refuge. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Rotary Club of Livermore, for this wonderful recognition of Donna. I have been with the refuge since 2013 as president, but I've known Donna now for over a decade. And I was sharing with someone before the meeting started today that, as you can tell, Donna's about 5'1". She probably weighs about 80 pounds on a good day. And she is the tallest, biggest person I've ever met in my life. She is an amazing individual. It is so like her to not be here today. If you know her at all, she does not crave nor desire the limelight. I tried to twist her arm. She was not budging, so she stayed true to form. I asked Donna to put together a page of information I could share with you today, and she sent me 8 pages. I've made some copies of all 8 pages, but I wanted to try to honor the 5 to 6 minute time frame. Jackie's got about 15 copies of the 8 pages over there, which is honestly a small fraction of the stories Donna has to tell. I've tried to condense and pull the best out of that into 4 pages, so on her behalf, I'd like to share this with you now. Dear members of the Rotary Club, I am overwhelmed, humbled, and grateful that you chose to recognize Livermore Homeless Refuge, LHR for short, and me when there are so many other worthy people for this recognition. My name is Donna McKenzie, and I've been involved with LHR for 14 years. LHR is not a place where I work or volunteer. It is where I minister. It has never been a job I went to. It's been a calling. The people I interact with are family. The entire homeless community has always been, in my heart, an extension of my family. Before LHR existed, Bob and I, this is Donna's late husband, often saw people on the street in need and always stopped and tried to help. When LHR, formerly known as the Warming Center of Livermore, was about to open, there was a notice in my church bulletin. Bob and I looked at each other, and we knew God had his hand on our shoulders. We originally worked volunteer shifts, moving on to operating the day-to-day refuge until COVID closed us down in March of 2020. With COVID, it has become more difficult to help our friends living on the street, struggling and going through a difficult time in their lives. The ones that didn't get assistance with motel sheltering were on the street. They were and still are scattered all over Livermore. I'm meeting new people every few days. We were involved 7 days a week and still am. Many of our homeless have received housing. However, more and more people are calling, looking for basics. Homeless. When most people hear that word, their immediate thoughts are dirty, smelly alcoholics and drug users. Some of that is true. Homelessness is messy. Most of the homeless do not trust easily, which means many don't believe in COVID, masks, or vaccinations. They think the government wants to control and track them with vaccination. There's no food on Sunday, and the Catholic community of Pleasanton has a sign-up genius for lunches, and the schedule is full every Sunday. I pick up and deliver to grateful, hungry folks. The faith-based community has embraced LHR and me. I get food donations and fill the blessing box almost daily at Tri-Valley Church of Christ. I know people with and without children living in vehicles, motels, and apartments, barely able to pay the rent, and I help them with food and non-consumable items like toilet paper, paper towels, hygiene products, laundry, dish, and bath soap. I'm often asked for baby diapers, formula, foot powder. Many of the working poor are unable to buy necessities for their families. Safeway, through the Knights of Columbus, brings me a full truck of both perishable and non-perishable food every week, and all of it is distributed to people in need. Dog and cat food are in high demand. Many of our homeless have pets. My friends living on the street are in a vulnerable position. Nights are cold and scary. With funds donated to LHR, they have and continue to be used for vehicle registration, license renewals, insurance fees for people who live in their RV or vehicles. We've repaired vehicles, broken car windows, replaced car batteries. We've paid storage fees for people who are delinquent. We've helped families with food, medicine, clothing, furniture. We've paid bus fares and train fares for a number of our friends to return to their homes and families out of the area. We've provided numerous bikes and locks. A bike is considered a necessity. We've transported guests to doctor's appointments, hospital, and court dates. We've paid for motels for people with special needs, sick, and hospital recovery. We've provided BART tickets and gift cards. We provide backpacks, warm coats, clothes, underwear, sleeping bags, blankets, hygiene items for people not staying at the refuge. I've donated at least 75 coats so far this season to people in need. We take each situation individually and try to help. I know we are a Band-Aid fix, but to some, we are a life preserver. If I can give someone hope for even a little while or a day, it is so worth it. I stop and I listen and we connect even for a few minutes. I believe that every human life is valuable. Our homeless, the invisible, the unwanted, the misunderstood, the forgotten, all of them, like all of us, need a place to belong. People who are homeless not only lose their housing, but they often lose their identity too. We need to remember that being homeless does not define a person. It only defines the condition. Any one of us can become homeless. None of us should ever look down on anyone unless we are helping them get up. Our homeless are real people and everyone has a story. Until we walk in their shoes, we cannot judge them. Many are like you and me, working, family, and suddenly job loss, unable to pay the bills, divorce, or serious illness, and our lives begin to unravel. Good people become homeless. My hope is that people see us as a good thing and that we make a difference in our community. I believe strongly in our homeless work. If any of you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to speak with you. I've learned a lot along the way and am still learning as I continue. I apologize for not being in person with you today. My gratitude is overflowing. Please keep my friends and me in your prayers. With a grateful heart, Donna McKenzie.
Don't go anywhere, Dr. Pastor. So I want to thank Peter and Jackie Paulson for bringing Donna's good work in our community to my attention, to the board's attention. And wow, we were really impressed. Donna clearly embodies our ethos of service above self, right? Even not showing up today, right? She's not about the limelight. She's not about recognition, but I and fellow board members thought it was important that we let her know that we appreciate and acknowledge her efforts in our community, the good work that she's doing, and know that that we're grateful for that. So a couple of things. Pat, if you want to come up and join me. First, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Livermore, Pastor Boast, we'd like to present this check in Donna's honor for $1,000 to the Livermore Homeless Refuge. Hopefully help you guys.
And Pastor Boast, we'd like to present you with a Paul Harris Fellows certificate that we hope you can give to Donna when the time is right. And maybe I'll just hold this up so everyone present can see it. And then we have a little pen here for Donna.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
This in a box.
Okay,
and bring it over
that
to your
works,
table.
that works. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Paul Harris Fellow as well.
So we've got a bunch more announcements here still, and I want to check in. I didn't see our speaker a few minutes ago when I looked. Can somebody tell me?
She's on, Ken.
Oh, great. Splen, would you like? Oh, so we
Go ahead and do your announcement. Do your announcements.
Okay, this might take a few minutes, though. We got a bunch of announcements, and I want to.
Denise, if Denise is okay with a couple minutes, yeah, she says yes.
Okay, here we go. We'll keep rolling. Crab feed. Bob, Don, you want to give us an update on the crab feed?
Okay, well, it's still on March 18th. It's still on March 18th. And what we need is to start getting you guys to volunteer and help us with both your physical help and your donation. Can I have the next slide? Yeah, I'm going to do them quickly. There you go. Okay, how to volunteer. David Round sent out an email. You click on that link and it takes you to this page. And that's the Crab Feed Volunteer. You scroll down on that page after you sign in, and there's all these places, all these things you can volunteer. Every person should have at least volunteer for one thing, okay? Keep going down, and that's the end. So it's setup, bar setup, bartenders, helping check people coming in for COVID if we have to do that. Next slide, we need donations. David also sent out a link with, you click to get the donation page. A donation is not money, that would be appreciated, but we're looking for items for both the big raffle and the silent raffle, silent auction. Fill that out, get that to myself or Don or Debbie or anybody on the committee. We need your involvement.
So we'll backtrack here. What was up next? Bill, are we still on for Bruce's memorial at the end of the month?
Yes, Bruce's memorial will be the 28th, that's Friday, at 3 o'clock in the sanctuary of the First Presbyterian Church.
All right, and we'll remind everybody again next week. Thank you, Bill. Next announcement. Christian, you got a quick reminder for us about the blood drive?
Yes, real quick. Again, if you don't remember anything I said today, please reference the email I resent via our club secretary, Dave Rounds, on January 12th at 4:44 p.m. Simply visit the app or Google Play to download the Red Cross app, or go directly to the redcrossblood.org. Now, while you're there, very, very important, please be sure to join our Rotary District 5170. Once you join it, you're ready. Anytime you want to schedule the appointment, you go to the app or go to the email, you're already joined already. Lastly, because Red Cross is experiencing the worst blood shortage in over a decade, they are providing incentives through the end of January 31st. If you donate blood before the end of January 31st, you're going to be entered to win 2 tickets and actually a trip to Super Bowl in Los Angeles, and also for a home theater package. And remember, each blood drive saves 3 lives. So one donation, you are saving 3 lives. If you can donate for some health reasons, please share with your friends through a quick click or text. Finally, please save the date for March 19th. I'm going to bring more information later. We're going to do some good deed. We're going to take a day with Area 4 to go out and build beds for kids sleeping on the floor. And we picked a great organization, no other than Sleep in Heavenly Peace. So please, March 19th, Saturday, come out of mass. Let's go there and do assembly line stuff and build beds for these kids. And I applaud you, for everything what you guys are doing. And I thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you. Good stuff. Keep it coming. Beth did okay with socks.
Thanks to you Rotarians, we did okay. We had 7 bags. My garbage can bags weren't big enough or strong enough, so I got some from a friend to fill all of these. So you were incredibly generous. Couldn't believe some people brought, I was dozens and dozens of nice socks that some of the people in the club brought. And the people at Glide Memorial they were blown away. They were so thrilled. Absolutely blown away. My son, the one who looks like me except for the hair, Well, my hair used to kind of look like that. He's looked like that since high school. Anyway, he said that he's never heard the word cool so many times. He says at least 80 people on the staff came up to him. Thank goodness my friend Del Eccles, who some of you know, drove. We were going to take Bart, but obviously we had a little bit too much for two people to carry on Bart. So he drove and got us down to the Tenderloin, and people were just so happy. And so I just wanted to thank everybody in the club who was so generous in bringing all of these to us, just everyday things, but so very much needed by these folks. So I'm hoping to make it an annual thing. You guys were so great, and it was clear that the need was so, that I hadn't been down in the Tenderloin, of course, in years and years, but lots of people with lots of different reasons why they are unhoused, as you folks just mentioned, Jackie and all. So this is a group of people that, because my son works there, I'm more familiar with. But just wanted to thank everybody who's live here and on the screen, also on Zoom. Thank you.
Good job, Rotarians. What's our next announcement, Dennis? Alan, more generosity from Rotarians.
Well, thank you, President Ken. So I just got back from Colorado, and I figured not Colorado, Texas. So I figured if I got COVID, I would keep it to myself.
Thank you.
Anyway, but I ended up spending my morning working down at the building on L Street that, one minor task turned into several hours of work, some of which being the TVNPA remodeling. And I bring that up because the leases bought this building for nonprofit organizations, and the leases are to two main organizations, TVNPA and Tri-Valley Haven. They're responsible for configuring the inside the way they want them. And for Tri-Valley Haven, that's going to be a new food pantry, which is going to be grocery store style. They find that when they just hand out food bags, the food bags may or may not be the food that people want. Some of it gets wasted. So this way, people will be able to get exactly what they want. Plus, they can offer a greater selection. But setting up a grocery store and all the refrigeration and walk-in freezer, the refrigerated thing for the milk, et cetera, this is expensive. So they need to raise a fair amount of money to pay for their tenant improvements. And so Mary and I have put a matching fund campaign together of $25,000 that we will be donating. I've had notes from 3 Rotarians already saying that they have contributed. So I certainly appreciate that. And I hope if this is something that the rest of you believe is important for essentially helping those people in need more effectively through a food pantry, I would hope that you would go onto the Tri-Valley Haven website and make a contribution for that purpose. Thank you very much, Ken.
Thank you, Alan.
So, Ken.
Hello?
Pardon, real quick for Alan. When you go to their website and make a donation, do we need to specify or code anything so that Alan can match it? Should we put a code or something when we donate?
I think there's a place where you can put a notation there to say Burnham matching or something like that. I actually haven't visited their website myself, but that's what somebody told me. If not, if you feel you want to just send me an email to verify that it got credited, that's also okay. Also,
Yeah, maybe we can clarify that and include a note in the spur or something. We'll get that information.
Sure, I can clarify that, Ken. I've looked at the website and then didn't donate through the website, did it separately, but there's the equivalent of a memo line, so you can specify just as Alan suggested, and we'll note that in the spur as well.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Thank you, Pat. So next week, we will be honored to have our district governor, Richard Flanders, joining us. So you all want to make sure you are here next week. And with no further ado, then I would like to thank Denise for being patient as we rumble through all of our business here. Splen, would you like to introduce Denise?
Thank you very much, Ken. And Denise, again, thank you for being patient with us. But I think you will be the pinnacle of all the wonderful things that you see our club has been doing. And I would hope that somebody who's more public relations minded would actually bottle everything you heard today and put it together so that we can go out and share with the community. All right, on to Denise. Denise oversees fundraising and donor relations for Open Heart Kitchen, a food assistance agency serving the Tri-Valley. She has 15 years of experience in fundraising, marketing, and event planning for various nonprofits, including the Health Trust, Silicon Valley Social Venture Fund, and Silicon Valley Community Foundation. But most recently, she was a development officer at the Bankhead Theater with over 300 events year-round, and she was responsible for sponsorships, grants, and major gifts. Denise is most proud of founding a series of 9 free cultural arts events on the Bankhead Plaza, which began with the Filipino Barrio Fiesta. In addition to arts, education, food justice, Denise is passionate about empowering youth leaders and championing women's issues. She currently volunteers for Mighty for Arts Foundation, serves on the board of Tri-Valley Haven, and is a member of the Development Executives Roundtable and Association of Fundraising Professionals Golden Gate Chapter. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you, Glenn. I'm getting a message that I cannot share my screen. Let's see, while the other participant is sharing. So we need to turn off. There you go. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay. Can you all see our logo there? Great.
Yes.
And I apologize for looking back and forth. I'll be trying to move through the slides. So we just rebranded. This is our new logo. Our mission is to serve prepared, nutritious meals free of charge to the hungry people of the Tri-Valley area. Last year, believe it or not, we served more than 2 million meals to people in need. And this is partly because of our grocery distribution at the Alameda County Fairgrounds, where we partnered with the Alameda County Community Food Bank and Tri-Valley Haven, which I'll touch on a little bit later. But this is the trend over the last 4 years, how much we've grown. We saw a 60% increase in 2020 compared to 2019 from the impact of the pandemic. And in 2021, just exponentially grown to 2,033,379 meals served. So that 2 million meals means there's a real need for hunger relief or food assistance in the Tri-Valley. In our county, 1 in 5 residents experience or is at risk of hunger. And we have a poverty line, which is very low for a family of 4. It's $25,750 annually. We operate in the space of food securities, which just means that consistent access to enough food for people to lead an active, healthy lifestyle. And we know that because of the pandemic, the rate of the food insecurity has grown by nearly 5% in 2 years to 13.9 in our county from a report titled "The Impact of the Coronavirus on Food Insecurity" by Feeding America. We have 3 main programs. Our hot meal program welcomes anyone in need. Anyone who's struggling to make ends meet can rely on Open Heart Kitchen for a source of nutrition throughout the week for their families. Our street outreach program delivers breakfast items and hot meals to people living in homeless encampments or transitional housing, such as domestic violence shelters and motels. And our senior meal program serves senior-friendly, no-sodium meals at various senior centers throughout the Tri-Valley to promote both social interaction and healthy eating. And we expanded street outreach from 1 delivery a week pre-pandemic to 6 days a week because that population was sheltering in place but had no means to get to our distribution sites. So now we deliver there directly 6 days a week. So what does this mean on a human level? When you have a limited income or unexpected crisis, you are forced to make some tough choices. And we know that the Bay Area is one of the most expensive housing markets in the country. So in our county, a household will need to have a 6-figure income just to get by, or more than 3 full-time minimum wage jobs for a family of 4. So often our clients are forced to choose between their basic needs for food or medicine, food or utilities, or food and shelter. And this slide shows our operations changed drastically since the beginning of the pandemic. All meals now are served to go for curbside pickup in order to comply with social distancing and mask mandates and all of those things. We made the difficult decision to suspend our volunteer chefs, and we got some support from city staff in all 3 cities who supplied ServSafe certified staff at their own, at the senior centers to help us keep our doors open and the meals going out to the community in the early days of the pandemic. We also have a registered dietitian that reviews our menus monthly to make sure we're within the recommended dietary allowances across all of our meal programs. And in this slide, the photo at the top left shows our meals being prepared at our production kitchen. Then they're loaded into warming containers onto our delivery trucks and delivered to our meal sites for curbside pickup. So for hot meals, we are located at the Robert Livermore Community Center Monday through Friday from 1 to 3. And we used to serve at 5 sites throughout the Tri-Valley. We consolidated services to Robert Livermore Community Center. So we continue to serve meals to go, and anyone in need can come and pick up a meal without any requirement. We don't ask for ID or proof of income or anything. So as long as you're hungry, we want to be able to serve you. For senior meals, the senior meal program addresses the nutritional gap for low-income seniors. We ask for reservations to be made in advance, and all of our menus are posted on our website monthly. In the early beginning of the pandemic, we saw about 964 seniors sign up for the first time. So we know that many of our seniors felt very isolated during the pandemic and fearful of going out to grocery shop or to eat outdoors in restaurants. So we were their source of nutrition in their time of need. We also had free groceries that we distributed with Tri-Valley Haven and the food bank that I mentioned earlier, with funding from the Alameda County Social Services Agency. This was located at the fairgrounds, and then we moved to Pleasanton Senior Center for about a month, and then at the Workday headquarters. But unfortunately, this program ended in December, and we have served over 1,400 households, and that also worked out to be about 750 households weekly. Our community partners include the Alameda County Community Food Bank, where we receive fresh produce, and CityServe and Tri-Valley Haven. We often partner with them to help our clients through their crisis. So CityServe has provided things like masks and client referrals for our unhoused clients, and Tri-Valley Haven has partnered with us on the grocery distribution and the food pantry services that they offer. Another thing I wanted to mention was in January of last year, we began our journey in becoming an ideal organization with training through the Center for Excellence in Nonprofits. And IDEAL stands for Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, Access, and Liberation. Realizing that hunger is not an individual choice, but one that is heavily influenced by external factors such as systemic racism, discrimination, income equality, and healthcare accessibility. We are dedicated to embedding IDEAL principles into our meal offerings to the local community and within our internal practices among our staff and board. So we implemented redesigning our menus with meals that include vegetarian options and culturally diverse entrees. We modified our website to be more accessible for disabled individuals and for Spanish and Chinese speakers. And we also hired more staff that speak other languages other than English.
And this is a picture of our menus in Chinese and Spanish. The heart of OHK is our volunteers. We went from a very volunteer-based organization pre-pandemic with 450 volunteers a week to now having 40. So we really miss our volunteers. And I know some of you have volunteered with us in the past and are also generous supporters. So I just wanted to acknowledge that we do want to return to congregate dining as soon as we safely can. And we'll need volunteers again, hopefully in this coming year. And I wanted to touch on our capital campaign as well. This is Vineyard 2.0, located at 460 North Livermore Avenue. And we are partnering with the Housing Consortium of the East Bay and Livermore Homeless Refuge. So I was happy to see the presentation for Donna today to honor her work. We are very, very proud to be partnering with the Livermore Homeless Refuge on this project. Currently, Livermore Homeless Refuge offers temporary shelter and rotates locations, and this space will provide a permanent place for the homeless to stay overnight and to receive a hot meal from Open Heart Kitchen. So our vision is for this to provide permanent supportive housing, and this is an overhead view of the downtown area where we'll be located between Walnut and Park on Livermore Avenue and the existing housing here. This is a site map. The orange is the Resource Center building where Open Heart Kitchen's kitchen and dining room will be located. And then this blue area is the residential side. So there will be 24 apartment units and then our community resource building, and the entrance from Livermore Avenue will be this driveway in between. So the Resource Center building continues to expand on existing services at Vineyard. It will be serving the basic needs for people to transition out of homelessness, including office spaces for our fellow nonprofit agencies, meeting spaces, showers, laundry, mailboxes, and a clothing closet, and free Wi-Fi, so people can come and start looking for work. And we also have case management, counseling, wellness, and social service and housing referral from our other nonprofit agencies that we're partnering with. And for the kitchen and dining facility, it will be our main production kitchen. So we know that this will service all of our meal programs going forward. And the open layout and modular kitchen design will enable us to adjust for all of our different meal programs, from packaging street outreach meals to buffet style serving. And our dining room will be able to serve 100 diners at a time. So, any questions or comments I can address?
So Denise, thank you very much. This is great hearing about all of the good stuff, the good work that you're doing in our community. So does anyone here have a question for Denise? And on Zoom, Rotarians, you remember how this works, right? Down on the bottom of your screen, the reactions, you can click a button and raise your hand. And Pat Coyle, I see you have a question for Denise.
Yes, thanks, President Ken. Denise, wonderful here to hear this update on Open Heart Kitchen. Regarding the capital campaign in particular, have you had opportunity to reach out to the other Rotary Club, the Morning Club, as well as our Rotarian Foundation of Livermore to discuss potential opportunities to support that? I know in the past there have been like naming opportunities or some element of the project that might make sense, whether it's something like a piece of the kitchen or one of the other service areas where there are opportunities. I don't know that you need, tiles or things like that, where people can contribute and then be recognized for their contribution as a group. It just seems like Rotarians have been interested in this project for a long time, and it's really good to see it coming together.
Thank you. It has been a long time, even before I joined the team. So I know that this has been a project that's been in the community's mind for a long time. We do have plans to put up a donor recognition wall in the kitchen. And the furnishings have not been chosen yet, but we do want to recognize people that have supported the campaign and perhaps put up monitors in the lobby as well, as people coming in from the street can see who put the building up and supported the project. So it's in the works, but it's not firmed up yet.
So Denise, definitely keep us posted. Rotarians are very interested in helping out on this project. So as you identify specific needs, please keep us in mind. So any other questions for Denise? I don't see any here in the room. Any out there on Zoom?
Don't see any.
Okay, well, oh, we've got one here. Jackie, you have a question for Denise.
Unless I missed it, Denise, what's the timing of the new facility of Vineyard 2.0?
Yeah, thank you for that question. We plan to do a groundbreaking hopefully by February, March. It hasn't been pinned on the date yet, but as soon as I have the shovel date, I will shout it from the rooftops. We want to have a great groundbreaking ceremony and really make the campaign public at that time. So it will be starting construction this year, and then we hope to occupy the building in spring of next year.
All right. Any other questions for Denise? So Denise, I would like to thank you again for being patient with us as we got through our business calendar today. We had a lot of announcements, and I appreciate your taking time out of your busy day and time away from the work you do. Oh, I see Carolyn, you've got a question before we let Denise go.
President Ken, it's not a question for Denise, but it is related. And I think that we'll see the need for this project even more if everybody has an opportunity to read Donna's full letter. And there will be a link to that full letter in this week's Spur.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Good information. Yeah, so we've got some hard copies here. If you're in person at Robert Livermore, you can grab those. As Carolyn said, we'll definitely get a link to that document out with the Spur report this week. So if you want to take another look at that, I think this is eye-opening, right, about the need in our community. It is significant. So nice for as an opportunity for us to help. So again, kudos to Rotarians. I think your hearts are in the right place. And all of these great organizations, nice to acknowledge the good work that they're doing to make our community a better place for everyone. So with that, Denise, again, thank you. Appreciate you sharing with us. Go be kind and be safe, Rotarians.